You're not going to get killed by a serial killer. You're not going to get killed by a mass shooter. You know who you're going to get killed by statistically? Your spouse, your wife, your husband, the person you're falling asleep next to tonight. Statistically, you are more likely to be murdered by your spouse than you are by anyone else in the world, times 3. So ISIS, cartels, mass shooters, whoever you're scared of, you're less likely to be murdered by them than the person you're going to share the check with tonight. And you're like, not my Larry, especially your Larry. You're Larry more than anyone in the world, times 3. And I love doing this joke because you see people turn to their spouse and be like, I would never do that. But that's what someone who would do that would say.
When you don't want kids, you take precautions to make sure you don't have them, like birth control. Well, birth control has hormones, and hormones gave me melasma. You know what melasma is? It's a brown skin mustache. Yeah. I have a mustache. You can't see it because I'm wearing makeup. But when I'm not wearing makeup, I look like my brother.
I didn't know anybody in there at the time. Closest person to me was the black dude at the bench next to me. So I walked over. I was like, hey, man, would you mind spotting me for this set real quick? And he was like, yeah, I got you. Hey, come on. So we go over to the bench together. He gets behind the rack in the spot position. He's ready. I lay down, and I'm trying to psych myself up, get in the zone, line up my hands, get a good grip, and finally I just get it off the rack. Oh, I get 1 rep in. Oh, I get 2 reps in. I get stuck on the 3rd. My arms start shaking. And he can see this. So like any good spotter, he has some words of encouragement. I'm trying not to die, and this man just gets in my ear. And do that shit. Do that shit. It ain't nothing. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of tired. He was like, my people been tired. I was like, God damn.
I heard a rumor about parenthood. I heard that when you're a parent, you get out of bed in the morning. You don't get back in until night?
When we were kids, my dad lived in this super exclusive gated community called prison. And I really don't want me to be like just a total brat, but my dad went to private prison. Yeah, he did. My dad went to private. So, where'd your dad go? Merrill Lynch? Cool. Like, I met this girl and she's like, I'm from Joliet, Illinois. And immediately I was like, Joliet, Illinois? Joliet State Prison. My dad went there. My dad went, like, it's the University of Michigan. Like, yeah, my dad, like, class of 86.
I read this article. It was a guy who works for Google, and he's a whistleblower. That means, that's the white word for snitch. I like how white people, like, he's a whistleblower. He didn't snitch. He blew a whistle.
This is 100% true. So when my daughter was about 4.5, my wife was out of town, and we were having breakfast, and there was a little lull in the conversation, and I'm over, cleaning up some dishes and stuff. And then after about a minute, she says to me, and apropos of nothing, we had not been talking about anything like this at all. So she just comes out with this. She goes, Daddy, I'm sad you're going to die soon. And, my immediate reaction was like, oh my God. She's a witch.
She was like, what are you talking about? You've had sex? I was like, I haven't. She was like, you have? I know you have. I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, well, what happened that night when I picked you up for that house party at 4 o'clock in the morning? You said it was the best night you'd ever had in your entire life. I was like, Mum, that was the first time I ever had stuffed crust pizza.
Now, I don't know if my husband is hard of hearing, but to him, if the TV is not at volume 85 or above, it might as well be on mute. God forbid I bring the volume down to 65. He will passive-aggressively put on the captions. It's his silent way of yelling at me.
See all different kinds of characters at the gym, right? You ever see those dudes who work out disproportionately? They're ripped up top, but then it gets down to the bottom half, it just looks like deer legs. You wanna go? You wanna take this outside? I'm pretty nimble on my feet. Let's go right here, right now, bro. Let's do this. But all you have to do if you get in a fight with one of those guys is sweep the leg, and then they come down like a sack of potatoes. Like, oh no, I can't get up. I'm too top heavy. I'm a turtle. Oh. Like the top half is always super threatening, but the bottom half is just screaming, ladies, mimosas. Let's have a night out in the town. I just nared. Cosmo's on me. Sex and the City Marathon. Let's do it tonight.
I think it's an outdated question, boy or girl. Like, it's weird. Like, those aren't the only two options anymore. Do you find it weird that gender reveal parties have become popular just when gender's never been less permanent? It's like every gender reveal party's a cliffhanger if you think about it. Yeah, this is the end of season 1, but wait till you see season 8. Like, we got a whole new cast.
Growing up, my dad would get up every morning at 4 a.m. and take a bath. That's weird. That's really weird. But now that I'm a father, I've never understood anything so much in my entire life. I'm like, Dad, yes, get your fucking bath time, dude. Because you know what never asked for a piece of bread with peanut butter on it, and then when you gave it to them, said that they didn't like peanut butter or bread? The sunrise never did that, and neither did that fucking bath.
Another thing I've learned living in the South is the bugs are bigger. Y'all got some Nashville geographic stuff happening here. Like in California, we have bugs, but our bugs are killed. Then I get to Nashville. I went to get in my shower one morning. There was a spider in my shower. Now this spider was so big, I thought I was interrupting him. I did. I went to open the shower curtain. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know anybody was in here, my bad. He was big and he was furry too. Yeah, I didn't know if I should brush it or smush it. I didn't know. He was so furry, he had dander. Ew. I need my Zyrtec pill just for the spider dander. I was like, sir, the Head and Shoulders is right there. Help yourself. If I ever have to kill a spider that big, I am morally conflicted. Because at that point, that's a pet. Put a collar on that thing, that's Bubba. Bubba had plans that day. He was just getting started, he's in the shower. That's messed up. If you ever have to kill a spider that big, you could hear the crunch. And if you hear the crunch, you know that thing had a soul. That's messed up. I used to kill any spider or bug that was around because I don't like bugs at all. But over the past couple of years, I have this newfound respect for nature and insects. So now, if I ever see a spider in my house, what I like to do is scoop it up in a container, take it outside, throw it in a bush, and then immediately go like this. But if I'm left with no choice and I have to kill a spider, I now like to start with an apology. Listen, sir. I know you weren't expecting this today. I'll be honest, neither was I. Truth is, I don't know you. You could be poisonous and you could kill me. So at this point, it's either me or you. And I have chosen you. There was this one night, I was home alone, by myself. Because that's what home alone means. And I was watching The Night Stalker. Did you guys see that one? The documentary about the serial killer that was in Southern California, like back in the 80s. So I'm home alone watching this show, super creepy. Episode's done, I turn the TV off, and all of a sudden, I hear this on my front window. I said, nope. I ran to my room. I put on every piece of clothing that I own. I said, if he's gonna try to assault me, he's gonna have to work real hard. I don't have no weapons in the house. What's my self-defense weapon? Denim, 3 pair. After a while, nobody came in the house, but I kept hearing the noise. Finally, I go to the window, I move the curtain, and I look outside, and it's not a psychopath trying to kill me. It was a mosquito. The size of a bald eagle. Or maybe it was a cicada. I don't know. I never seen a cicada in my life, but everybody kept telling me, oh, it's cicada season. Maybe it was one of those. Maybe it was a mix of both. Maybe it was a muscada. I don't know. Some Nashville Geographic stuff happening. This was the kicker for me, though. There was one night I was driving home, and I'm pulling into my driveway, and what do I see? A snake slithering across. That's where I draw the line right there. That's where I was like, all right, you know what, Nashville? Bless your heart. This is getting ridiculous. I'm not a big fan of wild snakes. Pet snakes, I'm okay with. Like if there was a snake right here and he came with a cosigner, like he came with a guy that was like, oh yeah, that's my pet, he's cool. I like that snake, that's a good snake. Him? I don't know him. He probably had that snake since he was a baby. He probably just ate a baby. Pet snakes, I'm okay with. Like, you know how sometimes you go to a real touristy area and there'll be that one guy with like a 100-pound snake around his neck, and he's just walking around. He's like, yeah, you want to take a picture with my snake? I'm like, I'll do it. He's like, all right, $20. Yeah, I don't need no picture. But the point is, I was down. I was gonna do it if it was free. Because free is my love language. Learning a lot. Being a California girl, living in the South, I actually had my very first tornado warning experience. And like I said, I'm from California. We don't get tornadoes in California. We get earthquakes. Now, earthquakes are scary for people who have never experienced one. But actually, they're not that bad. To be honest, I will take an earthquake over a tornado any day. Like, let me tell you, give me a 3.5. A solid 4. I will ride that quake like, hey. But a tornado, though? I don't know anything about tornadoes. This is what happened. We were asleep. It was 3 a.m. I get one of those Amber Alerts on my phone. The alert that goes off real loud. And I was like, okay, first of all, what child is getting kidnapped at 3 a.m. that they need to wake me up to tell me about it? What VIP child is this? That they think at 3 a.m. I'm gonna run outside looking for Honda Civics. A silver one, it's always silver. I check my phone. Whose kid is this? And it says, tornado warning, take cover now in a basement. Ooh, my heart started beating so fast. I said, oh my God, do we even have a basement? I don't even know. Because I'm from California, we don't do basements in California. That's dangerous because there could be an earthquake. I wake up my husband, I was like, babe, we got an alert on the phone. It says there's gonna be a tornado. We gotta go in the basement. Do we have a basement? Now, my husband is an Army brat. He grew up everywhere. He spent a lot of time in Kansas, and he was like, oh, we used to get these all the time. Don't even worry about it. Just go back to sleep. To sleep? But they just woke me up. I don't think that's what they want. He was like, what county is it in? Oh yeah, that's like 5 miles away. We're good. We could watch it from the front. He went back to sleep. Wasn't even stressed at all. I got up. I said, oh no, this is an emergency. We sleep with one of those sleep sound machines that plays like the rain sounds. So we were already in the midst of a storm. We had our own storm going on. It was on surround sound, so it was real loud. There was stuff blowing up on the windows, but I didn't even notice because I just thought it was a good episode that night. I was like, ooh, this one's realistic, favorite. I get up, I turn the sleep machine off, and that is when we can hear the tornado sirens outside. Brrr, brrr. Then my husband, go, 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 get up, go, go, get up, go. What? But you said we could watch it. We both start freaking out. I'm grabbing things we don't even need, like Windex, a stapler. Where do we go? Turns out we do have a basement. Guess where it is? Outside. Like we're in the Wizard of Oz. We keep it locked for safety. And we keep the key in the junk drawer in the kitchen. You highly underestimate what you consider junk until you're in an emergency situation. Now, I don't know how you guys keep your junk drawers at home. Maybe you're highly organized. I open up my drawer, I gotta sift through a bunch of dead batteries, expired coupons, hella rubber bands. We don't even use rubber bands. But every time we get one, we gotta save it. Why? What is so sacred about a rubber band that we can't throw it away? Whether it came wrapped around the newspaper or asparagus, it's in the drawer now. And that asparagus rubber band, that's a good one. Woo. We better save this. Got about 86 keys in here. We don't even have 86 locks. Finally find the basement key. We go outside, unlock the door, get down into the basement, and that is when we realize that we are fully unprepared for this situation. We have no emergency necessities down there. No water, no food, no batteries, nothing. Just me, my husband, and hella spiders. And they were all looking at me real suspect-like too. Like they recognize me. That's her? Listen, ma'am. I know you weren't expecting this today. But this is from my homie Bubba right here.
Our motto was, choosy moms, choose Jif. Choosy moms, not all moms, okay? Let's say maybe you're a mom who drinks in the afternoon and goes to the casino and forgets to pick up your kids from school. If that's the case, by all means, buy Peter Pan, okay? That's a better product for you, all right? Like, Peter Pan, come on, their mascot is a boy who refused to grow up. Maybe he couldn't grow up because he was malnourished, because he was eating that garbage peanut butter named after a cartoon character. Peter Pan can fly because he has hollow bones. There's no nutrients in Peter. Now listen, I'm gonna talk a lot about peanut butter, okay? It's an important subject, but I need to address something up top. It's been a rough year for Jif, okay? If you guys don't know what happened, we had a problem. Some people, barely any, like 14, got some salmonella, okay? And they traced it back to Jif, okay? And Jif did the right thing. They pulled it off the shelves nationwide. They pulled it all off, and I feel bad about it. I mean, I didn't do it, all right? But like, I wish I could go back 20 years when I worked there and say, like, hey, if you guys are thinking about coming up with some sort of a raw chicken-flavored peanut butter, don't. Like, it's a bad idea, you know? Like, and just so you know, like, that happened in 2006 with Peter Pan. They had the same thing, you know. They had a recall, salmonella. Just this year, Skippy had some metal particles in their peanut butter, and they had to pull it off the shelves. And you guys are like, well, Greg, it's never happened with organic peanut butter. Yeah, that's because they've only sold like 30 jars of that stuff, right? You know what I'm talking about? The organic peanut butter? It's got like an inch of oil on the top of it. Looks like a science project on the grocery shelves. You know, well, Greg, that's how peanut butter naturally settles. Well, then cover it up. Nobody wants to see that. You know? Greg, your peanut butter has preservatives in it. That's why it doesn't do that. Yeah, that's exactly why it doesn't do that. Yeah. Maybe we're trying to preserve people's appetites, right? Like, Greg, you just take a knife and you stir the jar and the oil goes away. Oh, now I'm supposed to help you make the peanut butter? Why don't you just hand me a bag of peanuts and a hammer next time? I'll smash them up myself. Me eater, you maker. Now listen, there's probably somebody out there, and you know, your mom made you eat organic peanut butter when you were growing up. If that's the case, obviously, you were homeschooled. You know, yeah. That's why you're homeschooled. Your mom did not want you to go to school and sit next to the Jif kid and have that kid be like, hey, there's another way to live. You know, like, and maybe you're a parent, okay? Maybe you're a parent and you force your child to eat organic peanut butter. And if that's the case, I'm not gonna tell you how to raise your own kid. I am gonna gently suggest that you at least expose them to some different peanut butter, you know, before you send them off into the world. Because I don't know if you've ever seen an organic peanut butter kid go off the deep end. It is not pretty. Okay, these kids, They spend 18 years eating it, then they go off to college. They have one bite of a Jif sandwich. 6 weeks later, they're passed out on a park bench with Nutter Butters all over their face. We got a lot of that business as Jif. We didn't want it. That's blood money right there. We took it. But, you know. Now, the company that I work for was called Procter & Gamble, okay? They don't own Jif anymore. You know who owns Jif? Smuckers. Smuckers owns peanut butter and jelly. If these guys ever get a hold of bread... Now, the government will step in. That's an illegal monopoly. That's Sherman antitrust, I think. I mean, you can't own a whole sandwich. This country was founded on principles. Right? But, I mean, I'll be honest. I was a big deal. You know, in the... Ma'am, I was, sorry. Like, I was a big deal in the peanut butter game, okay? I was part of some stuff that I'm sure you'll remember. I was part of the team that launched the first low salt, low sugar peanut butter into the category. It was called Simply Jif. It was targeted towards diabetics. I wanted to call it Type 2 Peanut Goo, but... I liked it. You know, I always felt guilty because we charged the same for crunchy as we did for creamy, which, if you think about it, the crunchy, like, we didn't finish making that. If you went to the plant, the crunchy guys are probably getting off work at noon, and the creamy guys are still smashing up peanuts at 5:30. The savings should have been passed on to you, and I still lose sleep over it. I'm a purist, I'll just tell you right now. I'm a peanut butter purist. I think there should be creamy and crunchy, and that's about it. You know, like, there's a lot of new flavors in peanut butter. They're getting fancy. I don't care for it. Like, Peter Pan has honey roasted peanut butter. If I know those guys, they're just grinding up bees and stirring them in there. Like, and I mean, even Jif, my company, they're doing some stuff I don't care for. I mean, they're getting fancy. They have an Omega Jif. Omega Jif. Omega, that's fish oil. They're putting fish in peanut butter, and they're wondering how they got salmonella. Like, what kind of fish was it? Salmon, maybe? What? Are you guys not seeing what I'm seeing here? Like... I mean, I know a lot of stuff. I mean, just so you know, like, the main size in peanut butter, that's 18 ounce, okay? That's where the deals are. That's where the wars are fought. That's where we go head to head, you know? There's a 28 ounce, there's a 40 ounce, but the deals are, they're 18 ounce. And like, if you went to Kroger right now and you bought an 18 ounce jar of Jif, it would probably cost you about $3.19. You know, back to school, maybe 2 for $3. If that happens, stock up. It's not coming around for another year. Right? Like, I ran a deal one time, Columbus, Ohio, 200 Kroger stores, 18 ounce Jif, 99 cents. Yeah, I did that. It'll never happen again. Never. Even the bad moms bought Jif that week. Mama, this peanut butter tastes better. Don't get used to it, boy. I ain't giving up cigarettes and I ain't giving up Red Bull. So when it's gone, it's gone. That was a unchoosy mom. Like, I'm sure you've all seen an unchoosy mom at the grocery store, right? Like, yelling at their kid or something. Like, choosy, I wasn't choosy when I met your daddy. I ain't about to start with no peanut butter. You better put that brand name peanut butter back on the shelf, or I might choose to leave you in the parking lot. Like I did your brother. You didn't know you had a brother, did you? What kind of peanut butter you eat, ma'am? Jif, yeah, I could tell. You have beautiful skin. I can see these things, yeah. What about you, sir? Jif, yeah. You're not just saying that, right? You, sir? What do you eat? You don't eat peanut butter? Okay, you can go. We don't need you here, sir. You just don't like it? Yeah. Yeah. About you, sir? Yeah. Yeah. Anybody eat Skippy? You can tell me. You eat Skippy, ma'am? You eat Skippy. Stop. Hey, you don't. You eat Skippy? And you like the taste of it? Ma'am, you have COVID. It affects your taste buds, ma'am. You have the Skippy variant, and you better get that checked out, ma'am. What about you, sir?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. I don't like you, sir. I respect your confidence, you know. Well, at least you eat peanut butter. I've heard a lot of excuses why people don't eat peanut butter. My son has a peanut allergy. We don't keep it in the house. Well, we did a lot of research at Procter & Gamble, and we found out that your son is a faker. I like almond butter. Do you? I mean, you're a hippie. That's fine, hippie. Go ahead and eat your almond butter or smoke it, whatever you do with it. I don't know how you buy it, because from what I understand, the grocery stores require shoes, hippie. You didn't buy it, did you? You got it from one of your hippie friends at a Fish concert. They pulled it out of their hobo bag. It was in a bottle that used to have patchouli in it. You know, probably traded it to him from some skirt that you made out of lawn clippings, hippie. Fine, hippie's got to eat, you know, but... I've heard this, I prefer Nutella. You're eating a chocolate sandwich, okay? Just put a Hershey bar in between two pieces of bread. You can prefer it, but don't you dare call it lunch, okay? By the way, check your blood sugar. You're about 2 of those sandwiches away from a permanent ride on the Type 2 peanut goo choo-choo. Now listen, you know, I said a lot of stuff here. I said some bad stuff about Peter Pan, you know. I said some bad stuff about Skippy, you know, and I meant it. I hate him, you know. I hate him, but I respect him on some level. They've been in the game for a long time, you know. They've been there. They were there before Jif. I respect them. There's some peanut butters think they can just jump in the game, you know, like Reese's. Remember when Reese's all of a sudden said, we're a peanut butter, you know? I'm sure they were thinking, hey, we're a candy bar with peanut butter as a main ingredient. How hard could it be to be just peanut butter? Real hard, Reese's, okay? You're gonna find out what it's like to stand on your own. You don't have chocolate to hide behind over here. We're not playing trick-or-treat games. We are feeding families in this aisle. Just be a candy. That's what you are. Be a candy. You don't see Ring Pop trying to get in the jewelry business.
I don't fuck with Ouija boards. Obviously, this only pertains to white women. And you know what? This shouldn't even be a story that I have to tell, but it's been weighing heavy on my soul lately, so I'll let y'all in. A couple of years ago, I was doing a show at a comedy club in Hollywood, and I get off stage, and this beautiful girl comes up to me, gives me her number. This happens all the time. And kidding. She comes up to me, gives me her number. She's beautiful. We go our separate ways for the evening. The very next day, she texts me and was like, hey, I want to come over. And I'm like, bet. Still got it. You know what I mean? So she comes over. I let her in. We go sit on the couch. And it's me and her on the couch. And then my roommate is down the hall in his room. His door's open. You can't see into the living room from his room, but he hears all of this. He's a witness. So we sit on the couch. And for the first 2 minutes, I'm asking all the questions that guys don't care about. But we don't want to come across too eager. So we ask silly questions like, you got a family, or those your real ears? You didn't get your ears done? Like vague shit that we don't really care about at all. So we're talking for like 2 minutes, and then she hits me with, "Yeah, do you have a Ouija board?" And I'm like, "I don't even have a headboard." "Nah, don't got that on me. Sorry." And she goes, "Well, can we go to Target and get one?" I'm like, "No, I've got Disney Plus. That's what we're doing." And she's not giving up. She was like, "Well, can I make one?" I'm like, "What in the demonic charcuterie are you trying to bring into my home right now?" And I'm trying to hit. So I'm like, "Yeah, sure. If you can find the things in my apartment to make a Ouija board, go ahead." Biggest mistake of my life. This stranger who I just met starts ransacking my apartment. She's opening every cabinet, every cupboard, every closet, going through everything. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a video of when a deer accidentally gets inside and it starts hitting everything like it's never seen walls before. But she's going crazy. She finds a couple of markers to write stuff down. She finds this little glass piece to be like the centerpiece. And she's like, that's how hard she's working. She's out of breath. She's like, "We don't have something to make the board." And I was like, "Damn. You know, guess we gotta watch Monsters, Inc. Why don't you just sit on down?" And she goes, "Hold on a second." So she gets up and she goes over to the front door. She opens the front door and she goes outside. And my roommate comes down the hallway and is like, and I'm like, so he goes over and slams the door shut behind her. I laughed so hard, but again, there's a mission at hand. So I'm like, all right, stop playing. So I get up, I go open the door. It's been 4 seconds. I open the door. There's nobody out there. She's gone. So I'm like, "Hey." "Ashley." "I'm gonna shut the door. And once it's shut, it's gonna stay shut. You're gonna be stuck out here." "I'm serious, Amanda." "All right." So I go, I swing the door and turn around, and straight out of a scary movie, this chick's foot, bah, stops it right before it closes on the frame. I was like, Jesus Christ. And here comes this chick lugging in this giant piece of cardboard. I'm like, "Where did you get that?" She goes, "It was just out there." Bitch, no it wasn't. No, it was not just out there. So she brings it in. She sets it on the coffee table, and we both sit on the couch. And I don't know where it came from. I lift it up. It's from the TV box I threw in the dumpster 4 days prior. This chick brought garbage back into my home to summon the devil. So you know the sex is gonna be dope. She's fucking crazy. I'm in. I gotta do it now. You know what I mean? I've never smashed a homeless chick before, but she clearly brought all of her things. She's like, "All right, you ready to make one?" And I'm like, "I guess, yeah." So she draws it out, and before I continue, does anybody not know what a Ouija board is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You really don't know?
No clue.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, first of all, God bless you. You're so naive. A Ouija board is essentially, it's a toy board that you can get from any store like Walmart or Target or whatever. And people use it to drunk text the dead, essentially. That's all it's good for. And it's a very simple layout. It has the alphabet right here, close center, middle of the board. It's where the centerpiece is supposed to be guided by a spirit to spell out certain words to answers that you ask it. So in the middle is the alphabet. Right corner is no. Left corner is yes. Alphabet, Left, yes. No. Yes, alphabet, no. So she draws the whole thing up, and she's like, all right, so there's a couple of rules you have to know when you're going to play with a Ouija board. I was like, yeah, duh. I mean, everybody knows that. But refresh me again. She was like, all right, rule number 1, you never play with it by yourself. Ever. I'm like, okay. Rule number 2, you have to remember to say goodbye. Because apparently you can't ghost the ghosts. So she's like, all right, let's play. Okay. So got our hands on the piece, and she's like, all right, we got to ask it a question. All right, go ahead. She's like, all right, okay. Is there anybody here with us? And you just hear my roommate down the hallway go, yeah, his name is Brandon, and he fucking lives here. I was like, touche, he pays rent. Which do you? No. So she's like, all right, I'll ask you another question. Did anybody die here? Doesn't move. I'm like, this is crazy. She's like, oh, well, then you ask it something. I'm like, okay. Should we go lay down in my room? We don't want to piss off the dead, do we? She was like, you're right. So we go lay down. This chick brings the cardboard in the room with her. She sets it at the foot of the bed like it's a golden retriever. Now we're under the covers. We're doing more makeshift conversation. You know, I'm like, you got dreams, or what's your favorite picture, or just vague shit I don't care about. And about like 4 or 5 minutes after this, she just knocks out. Like, not a subtle, like, starting to feel a little bit tired. Like, just straight, yeah. And then like, she is slumped. And now it's her asleep, me under the covers, and I'm staring down, just terrified of this Samsung TV box. And all I could think is, this bitch didn't say goodbye. Now I'm terrified, up by myself. I'm trying to wake her up. I'm like, hey, Allison. Hey. Great. She's asleep. Now I gotta play with it by myself. So I start jerking off, and she wakes up straight out of an exorcism and was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh God! And I swear to God, a spirit left my body and hit her right in the face. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
When you debate your life, when you go back and forth in your life, you don't know if you're gonna live or die. You realize a lot of things. Great things that happen in your life and terrible things that happen in your life. And one thing that stood out to me is my parents never told me they loved me till I was 29 years old. And it really messed with me in the hospital, right? So before I get into that story, I gotta tell you about my parents. If you haven't seen my last special, my dad is black, born and raised in Louisiana, has a PhD in nuclear physics, and served our country in the Army, people. Right. Now, in the last special, he was 75. Now he's 78, and he hasn't changed. He's still black and has swag. He still walks around the house like this, you know what I mean? And he's always laughing like, yeah. And always pointing at random shit that's not there. Just like, Now, my mom, she was born and raised in Korea, South Side. Now we know who doesn't watch the news in this room. I said it in my last special, Blasian. It's tough having an Asian mom because if they say it, they have no filter. My mom just turned 70 and now all bets are off. She does not care. I never thought my mom could be worse. My mom won't even say people's names to me anymore because she would rather describe them to me. She calls me the other day and goes, you know what? I like your friend, he nice. I go, which one? She goes, fat boy, small feet. But I knew exactly who she was talking about. Because with my mom will say things that make you mad. She will say things that make you want to fight. But my mom really feels that she can say anything to anybody. Because it's a truth. Oh, you don't like truth? Why you mad? It's a truth. Do I lie? Do I lie? My mom got in a fight with my wife. Now, full transparency, my wife cooks like once every couple of, once. So my mom walks into our new house and goes, oh, what a beautiful kitchen for no cooking. I go, Mom, you can't say that in my house. Nuh-uh, not to my wife. She goes, why? It's a truth. You don't like truth? And then to me and my wife, she goes, do I lie? Do I lie? I look at my dad for help. He's like, walk away, son, walk away. My wife, she's white. Whoa, it got quiet, okay. But my wife is just not white. She white. Now, I know a lot of people in here are white, and you're questioning yourselves right now going, am I white? No. My wife is whiter than you. My wife is from Gillette, Wyoming white. You hear that? When white people in Timmy like, damn. That's white. But we got a beautiful family, man. We got 2 kids. My son is now 5, my daughter's 2, and they're black, white, and Asian. That's right. We gave birth to pandas. We call them Ling Ling and Sing Sing. And my last special, I talked about this when my son was born, because I didn't have a daughter at that time. When my son was born and the doctor handed me my son. It's crazy as a father because I knew I would die for him, right? And I don't even know this dude. He could be a terrible human being, but I would die for him, But when they handed me my daughter, oh, it was different. I was like, oh, okay. I would kill for you. I became a murderer overnight. Because the family dynamic to me is crazy. Like, I would die for my son, I would kill for my daughter. But here's what's crazy. I wouldn't kill for my wife. Because that's not my job. That's her father's job. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Because I love both of my kids the same. But the love is in different directions. My son, I want him to be able to take care of himself, be strong. But I know for the rest of my life, I'm going to protect my daughter. 100%. And what's the biggest threat to women? Men. Look at that. Men. So now I hate all men. I became a lesbian activist overnight. / murderer. I'm Ellen DeGeneres with a gun. Because every man's a threat to my daughter. Every single man eventually will be a threat to my daughter. I hate my son. Sometimes I hate my son. Why? Because he's a threat to my daughter. We all have baby cams and watching my kids play. My daughter's playing with her little toy. My son walks over and grabs the toy from her. I get so angry, but then my daughter grabs it back and I'm like, yeah, that's my baby girl. Right? Don't take no man's crap. But then my son looks around to see if anybody's watching. Starts backing up where she is, and he hits her with his butt. And she falls to the ground and starts crying. I get so angry inside. I'm so mad. I want to fuck this little dude up, right? But I can't. He's only 5, and it's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight. All I can do is scream and like, hey, you better stop that. And he runs off. But my daughter could hit my son with a brick in the face. I'd be like, hey, girl, good job, good job. Because a daughter makes you a better man, 100%, 100%. It makes you more empathetic, you care about people, you get sensitive. I cry all the time now. All the time. I don't even know why. My wife looks at me in disgust I cry so much. She's like, why are you crying? I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen my dad cry once, but I cry all the time. And then it hit me. Every generation of father gets softer and softer and softer. It means things are getting easier. My black grandfather was born in 1902 in America. Went through injustices you couldn't even imagine. My dad went through segregation, still got a PhD in nuclear physics, and had to march just to drink out of the same water fountains as everybody else. That's right. Me? I would never drink out of a fountain. That shit's disgusting. But my dad, man, I can't take him to the park because he has to drink out of every freaking fountain. I'm like, you fought for this? He's like, I deserve this, son. I deserve it. I tell you, man. I'm going on 6 years of marriage, man. My parents, though, they just celebrated 48 years of marriage. That's something to clap about. So I asked my dad, I said, hey man, you've been married 48 years. How'd you do it? How do you stay married that long? My dad looks at me and goes, that's simple, son. Never say the first or second thing that pops into your head. You always say the third. I go, what's that mean? He goes, well, the first thing, you will get a divorce. The second thing, you on the couch. But the third thing, happily ever after. I'm 6 years in, I don't get it. Till about a month ago. Me and my wife are driving to Vegas. She packs a cooler of food for our 2-year-old daughter. We get to Vegas. My wife opens up the cooler and goes, oh my God, the food all melted. I look in the cooler and notice she didn't put any ice in it. I manned up though, you know, hey baby, yeah. You didn't put any ice in the cooler. My wife looks at me and goes, you don't need to put ice in a cooler. It's a cooler, duh. Now the first thing I thought was, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. But I didn't say the first thing, I didn't say the second thing, I said the third thing. I said, baby, I can't believe this cooler is broken.
My ex and I, we were together for a really long time, so we knew so much about each other. But one thing that he didn't know about me until toward the end, I told him that sometimes I pee in the shower. And by sometimes, I mean every time. And don't you guys act like you don't do it too. We are all swamp monsters. There is no drug in the history of time with a higher addiction rate than peeing in the shower. Okay? You think you're better than that, you think you're above doing it, and then you let yourself do it one time. And you're like, well, I guess I'm doing this every day for the rest of my life. It is the best. I feel like I'm on vacation every day, just carefree living. And I thought that he and I were gonna bond over it, you know? Like maybe we had the same dirty little secret. And instead, he was like, what? Oh, gross. That means every time I shower, I've just been standing in your pee. I was like, I do it while I'm showering. Like, the water takes it down the drain immediately. You're acting like I walk into our bathroom, drop my pants, stand in the shower, and just piss on dry porcelain like a serial killer. And then get out, put my pants back on, and just leave you a puddle of urine like a feral cat. I was like, I'm gonna start peeing on your pillow, give you some real problems. This is nonsense. One of my friends told me that apparently we're all supposed to throw our pillows away once a year and get new ones. You guys been doing that? Feels good to be gross together, huh? We all have such a weird attitude toward pillows because they cost like $10, but we all keep the same disgusting pillows for decades, like it's the Great Depression. Like we're some old prospector, like, well, this here's the pillow they gave me at the orphanage, and I'll be goddamned if this ain't the same pillow I die with. Why? Pillows and towels, right? Like, we never get rid of towels. They just eventually become the ones you, like, dry the dog with. Why are we holding on to so many? Do we all think we're gonna have, like, a home birth someday? I'm gonna sop some stuff up. My grandparents' towels are historical artifacts at this point. I don't know if you visited your elders recently. They have washcloths that look like they were woven from wheat. I'm like, did this belong to Jesus? I feel like I'm drying my face with a Triscuit. My eyelids are bleeding. So I got on dating apps for the first time last year, and they let me onto the celebrity dating app, which, listen, obviously they use the term celebrity real loosely, okay? If they saw my wiki feed, they'd be like, absolutely not. She can't sit with us. Yeah, they let in somebody who's 32 and still shops at Forever 21, so I for sure tricked them. I know that store is trash, but I just can't stop going. I just love it so much. The last time I was there, I told the girl at the register that I found a makeup stain on this tank top I wanted, and I asked if I could get a discount, and she just stared at me with dead eyes and was like, "It's already only $2.99." Like, do you want us to just give you the tank top? And pay off your student loans. This is Forever 21, everything's stained. It's basically an animal shelter. God, I love that store. The first date I went on through the celebrity app was such a disaster. I went out with this guy who was from Europe originally. So he had this really thick European accent, and some of the words he said sounded like other words. So he's telling me about his cat, and he goes, "Yeah, you know, I love my cat, but he rapes my shirts." And my brain was like, that can't be right. Nope. So I sat with it for a second, and I was like, oh, he rips your shirts. Okay, sorry, I thought you said that he rapes your shirts. And with zero hesitation, this dude goes, yeah, no, he rapes my shirts and I don't understand why, because he's neutered, but he will not stop raping my shirts, so. Then I had to hide my shirts, and then I gave him a blanket, and now that's his rape blanket, and I'm like, what the fuck? Am I on a hidden camera show? Where if this dude says rape 18 times before dessert, he wins a jet ski? Like, is this one of Ted Bundy's kids? What? I just started covering all my holes. I was like, I don't like this. This is a bad vibe. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this 5 more minutes. So he starts telling me that he goes on boats a lot. And I was like, oh, you ever worry about shark attacks? And I swear to God, he goes, yeah, no, you don't really have to worry about sharks so much, but you do have to worry about dolphins because they are the rapists of the sea. And I was like, all right, I'm out of here. Bye. Enjoy the jet ski. I'm sure you won. Fucking lunatic. That was my first dating app experience. Fortunately, it's been better since then. I'm seeing a guy in his 40s now. He has adult children, okay? He has lived more life than I have. He knows more things. And I told him that I was hesitant to hook up with him the first time because I was on my period. And he goes, I don't get why guys are ever grossed out by that. You're just shedding your uterine lining. I was like, that is the hottest thing that anybody's ever said to me. I didn't even know that's what happens during my period. I was like, okay, Grey's Anatomy. Who are you? The bar is set real low after old rape blanket, so you just do a gentle hop over into my heart, you know, with your Snapple fun facts about periods. Like, I don't know any of those things. Somebody could come up to me on the street with a microphone and be like, ma'am, for $1 million, what happens during your period? And I'd be like, I'm gonna go with the egg is melting. And they'd be like, were you homeschooled? My parents were playing foosball. I don't know. They didn't teach me these things. He's also the first guy I've ever been with who has had a vasectomy. So I had some questions about that. I was like, when you finish, is it clear? Like that white Gatorade flavor? Just have Glacier Frost on tap? What's going on? I was just trying to prepare myself. I was like, does it taste better when there aren't kids in it? It's like, or maybe it's just air, right? Like one of those pressurized keyboard dusters that's like, psst, you're like, oh. It startles you. You gotta point it away or you'll lose an eye. And maybe fix a tire. Finally, I just went Bill Nye on his ass. I was like, I am blowing you in the name of science. This is field research at this point. And turns out it's like normal. I guess it's kind of like Beyond Burger. Like it looks the same. And then once it's in your mouth, you're like, something's missing. This is like diet cum. It's another joke I wrote next to Wendell. He got an eyeful that flight. He saw some things. A lot of my friends are getting engaged and married right now, and one of them just had an engagement party with her fiance, and they played one of those games where they have signs that say him and her, and they held them up when they got asked questions like, who's the better cook? Who takes longer to get ready? We're all just like, oh my God. I'm like, you guys are getting married. Let's get into some real shit. Like, who has a drinking problem? Who's settling? I'm like, let me run this game, huh? And we'll call it getting cold feet. Let's test drive this son of a gun. So one of the things that I learned that was hard in going from being married and living with somebody for 8 years into being single and living alone is that no one touches you anymore. And I know it sounds weird to say it like that, but if you live with somebody, there's like a fair amount of touching that happens throughout the day. So my lowest point in quarantine, I started watching ASMR videos on YouTube where a girl would hold a hairbrush up to the camera lens and she would simulate that she was brushing your hair. And I would just ram my forehead up against my laptop. Like, pet me, Rachel. You dirty bitch. As soon as businesses opened up, I made all of the touching appointments. I was like, I'm getting a massage, I'm getting a manicure. Look, I made a dentist appointment just because I missed feeling somebody in my mouth. Okay? Don't you judge me. It was hard. My dentist is this like 65-year-old Armenian man. I was like, floss it up, daddy. Use your toys. He was like, I prefer you call them tools. I was like, Dimitri, I need this. Hush your lips. Just tell me when to spit. One of the appointments I had made was for a bikini wax. And I had been going to salons before COVID to get bikini waxes. I had tried doing some of those like at-home kits, and I just learned that there are some parts of my nethers that I do not have the strength of spirit to wax myself. Listen to me, if you can wax your own lips, you're a psychopath. That is some Steve-O jackass level masochism. I want no part of it. So I'd been going to the salons, and then the salons closed for 6 months, and things got scary. There's so many beautiful women here tonight. I feel like a lot of women started 2020 with like a landing strip, and by July it was just a full airport. You can land anywhere. There's a Cinnabon and a Panda Express. There's a shuttle that takes you to a rental car lot. I mean, employees, W-9s, it's a lot going on. So finally, the salons opened back up, and I immediately made an appointment. And I remembered there's that rule that the hair has to be at least 1/4 inch long in order for the wax to be able to pick it up. Oh my God. And do we need a medic? Are you okay? Are you too much for you? She's like, it's a 7:30 show. I didn't know what this was. I don't like hockey, and we had a Groupon, but she's like, this is not the Christian way. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so I remembered there's that rule that the hair has to be at least 1/4 inch long in order for the wax to be able to pick it up. And I looked down and was like, well, that's not gonna be a problem. But for the first time in my life, I worried that maybe it's bad if the hair is longer than 1/4 inch. So I called the salon. So embarrassing. I was like, hey, I have an appointment today. It's been a rough quarantine. Is there like a maximum hair requirement? And this poor girl just goes, I mean, how long are we talking? And I wasn't prepared to answer that. So I panicked and was like, we could probably donate it. No. Like, I don't know if Locks of Love specifies which type of hair they accept, but maybe somebody needs fake eyelashes. I don't know. We don't know where that hair comes from. I'll just throwing them on and praying, but could be pubes. I don't know. Basically, I feel like a lot of us were walking around kind of looking like the opposite of a porn star in 2020, right? Which is totally fine. My friend Jay actually told me that my celebrity lookalike is this porn star named Jessie Rogers. So I Googled her, and the first picture that popped up was her doing hardcore anal. And got a little creeped out, realizing that my friend Jay saw that and thought, you know who this reminds me of? Old gaping butthole Kelsey Cook. Yeah. Old backdoor cook. Look at her go. A+. What is the matter with you, Jay? But by the way, it's so nice to be able to tell that joke in person again, because I've had to tell it on mostly virtual shows the past 2 years, and I realized that halfway through the joke, everybody would just open a new browser. It would just get really quiet, and I'd be like, hello? Everybody show me your hands. I don't trust you. What are you doing? I had to check into a hotel on the road recently, and it was early in the morning, and the woman checking me in, well, she's a little older, and she goes, I just have to tell you, you look so much like Amy Adams. Huh, I don't know if you ever hear that, but you really look like her. And it took all of my strength to not pull my phone out and be like, you know who everybody else says I look like? And just really blast her with a bee hole at 8 a.m. I couldn't do it.